Hello and welcome back to the Fine Dining Podcast, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America. I am your host, Michael Ornelas.
And I'm your host, Garlic Zwerk. I mean Garrett Zwerk, but it's clear what we have on our minds right now.
So we went to a place today called the Stinking Rose. Now, this kind of departs from our usual. It's not a chain. It kind of, by technical definition, was
but hey, you
briefly.
Know what? It's our show. We make the rules, and this place was amazing.
It was
that's kind
really
of a spoiler.
Good. So yeah, the theme of this place is just garlic galore.
Garlic, garlic, garlic. We were garlic girls.
We were two little garlic girls just in there to evaluate this place based on its atmosphere,
based on its service,
and of course, based on its
garlic.
Food.
It's food.
All in search of the perfect 5.00 restaurant out of 10, the perfect litmus test of average. Now, the Stinking Rose used to have a location by us. We're based in Los Angeles, and there used to be one in Beverly Hills. Not anymore.
No, it's really sad. Right when I moved out to LA, people were like, the Stinking Rose, this is this garlic restaurant, you gotta try it. I'm like, that sounds great, I'll do it eventually.
Same thing, and we closed.
Yeah, we never got to.
So we decided, you know what?
Let's drive up to San Francisco to try it.
Let's spend 6.5 hours in the car to fill our bodies with garlic to the brim. And it was worth it.
Oh, it was.
It was a really good time. Before we go too much further, just a reminder to everyone, we do have a Patreon. We do an exclusive episode that you can only get there every month, a bonus episode. You can hear the full Yelp from Strangers segments that we have. We did an Olive Garden musical, and you can download those songs there.
You can see the full video episode of the Hooter Bowl,
etc., etc. So if you feel like supporting us, we'd love it if you went over, checked out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/finediningpodcast, or you can click on the link in the description of this episode.
Fine dining, party of two.
For now, I think we've talked a little bit too much. Our table is ready, so we're gonna...
head on in.
Your table is ready, follow me. Have you tried our chicken breast? Serving pancakes and ribs, I recommend the spaghetti. We're here to satisfy, not to impress. Your table is ready, complimentary butter and bread. These walls have road signs, knick-knack, cowboy hat, good luck cat, autograph guitar, some crap from your city. Behold the tchotchke of mediocrity. Fine dining, just fine dining, fine dining. Two letters on the sign aren't shining. Neon flickering, irregular timing. Identify the perfect five out of 10. Fine dining. Fine dining.
First impressions.
So, San Francisco is known for a lot of things, and a miserable parking situation is definitely one of them.
There are a lot of steep hills. There's this rule where you have to turn your wheels in a direction or something. I don't know. I'm from the Midwest. We don't have elevation.
Yeah, it's just, it took forever to just drive around and find a spot even. We got really lucky with a place that was about a block and a half away, and
there was this giant branch right by your car. And when our friend Steven got out, stepped on it, right on the side of the car. That was a good way to start the day.
Wait, did it scratch my car and I didn't notice?
I thought you noticed. I
noticed
that was
the branch.
Bit. Yeah, the branch like brushed up against your car.
Is my car scratched right now?
I don't know. That was the entire bit. I thought you were noticing that. Like, you were there for the moment.
I'm not going to pause right now to go check, but I'm angry now. Probably for the rest of the podcast. All right, whatever. So we go to the Stinking Rose. We see this big purple neon sign amidst this like black and red building.
But it's like a Parisian cafe. There's just a row of tables facing the street. It's
delightful.
Really quaint.
Yeah. You go in, everything's reflective, and then you start to put together, oh, garlic, vampires, reflections.
Yeah.
These guys are leaning heavily into their theme. Like everything is like Dracula/vampire.
There are braids of garlic just hanging from the wall everywhere.
Like, these guys are safe from a twilight ever happening in their establishment. There will never be a glowing, sexy vampire in their walls. Not if they have anything to do with it. I will say, I do love this aesthetic. It's very like 1950s collectible tins and old olive oil containers and garlic and all that stuff. they had, you know, those little like wine holder or like
the stuff in the bottom of Chianti bottles.
Yeah, the like fancy case that you hold it in. They were all like garlic skins. It was a very nice on point theme.
Garlic skins.
What do you call it?
I don't know.
Garlic
garlic
casing?
skins.
What? I'm not talking like Silence of the Lambs. It's not like a garlic skin suit.
Oh. Well, like, I bet we smell like we're wearing garlic skin suits
We
right now.
still do. Oh, absolutely. We have been hawking down mints, and it is not doing a lot. But
It was bright.
I loved this little vibe. We go in, we had a reservation. The woman who greets us kind of sounds a little Transylvanian. I'm not kidding you. Like,
I didn't get that.
oh, well, like I called to confirm our reservation a week in advance, and same lady must have answered, but very like, she sounded like she was doing like a tacky vampire impression. And I'm here for it. Anywhere that leans into their theme so much that A, they put on the accent, or B, they hire someone with the actual accent. I'm like, okay, Stinking Rose, I see your game. I approve of your game.
And speaking of like that Transylvanian accent, the first thing I thought about this restaurant, it's like I was transported to a live action Transylvanian Looney Tunes.
Yes, it was.
That was
so
like
bright,
that would
colorful.
be the set decoration.
It felt so animated. Yeah, it was like a garlic Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we are getting ahead of ourselves in terms of what the place looked like. I want to talk about how it hit our other senses. The name of the place is the Stinking Rose.
And obviously, you walk in, first thing you get hit with, garlic.
It wasn't as strong as I expected.
No, it was just like a fresh
noticeable.
bakery garlic.
Yeah, it was noticeable, but I guess I expected to be more overwhelmed, more entrenched in a garlic smell. I wanted to feel like I was walking into a box of garlic bread.
Random sidetrack here. Frozen garlic bread. Have you ever had Coles?
Like the department store?
Oh, no. Coles.
Oh, no.
Best frozen garlic bread
Okay.
you'll ever have. It's so overpoweringly garlicky and juicy.
I like the
and
sound of that.
buttery. Oh, it crisps up perfectly.
You know, you've got all the recommendations, all the facts. Do you have facts rounded up for the Stinking Rose?
Oh, I do.
Well, why don't we go into a segment dedicated to the history and the facts about the Stinking Rose?
That would be convenient if we had that section on this podcast.
You know, we actually do. Let's go into this week's Resty Fact Roundup. Now, of course, as we all know, my mom doesn't like the whip sound that we use for Resty Fact Roundup. She thinks it's too abrasive, blah, 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 blah. We have to replace the whip sound with something else. However, Garrett's mom, of course, also likes the sound of the whip because she thinks it's thematically appropriate to Resty Fact Roundup. So we got to leave a little whip in with a different sound effect to kind of fit the vibe of this place. What do you got for me, Garrett?
Give me your blood.
You just want to do a Dracula?
Daddy.
With the little whip sound, it's going to be like a little BDSM Dracula.
I'm down.
All right.
Give it to me, Daddy. The first Stinking Rose opened up in San Francisco in 1991.
I'm older than the Stinking Rose. Okay.
This restaurant was inspired by the Gilroy Garlic Festival, which is actually the world's largest garlic festival that set an attendance record of nearly 110,000 people over 3 days.
I know that Gilroy is famous for their garlic.
The founders went to the Gilroy Garlic Festival.
But is it affiliated at all, or is it just inspired
It was
by?
inspired by.
Okay.
The location we went to was actually the second version of the Stinking Rose in San Francisco. The original building was slightly larger, about 2 blocks away, and in 2022, this current location opened up.
So this isn't the historic Stinking Rose. Well,
So-
I mean, it's 1991. I wouldn't call myself historic, and I'm from 1988.
Hey, Full House is historic.
That's true.
And we're in San Francisco. It's perfect. The second location opened up in Beverly Hills in 1996, and it closed at the end of 2021.
And that's the one that we were sleeping on this
the
whole
pandemic
time. We
killed it
had the
for us.
opportunity, and we just didn't do it.
The restaurant slogan is, "We season our garlic with food." And
That's good.
yeah,
Oh, that's good.
they aren't even kidding. They use 7 tons of garlic every single year. This one restaurant uses 7 tons of garlic per year.
so much.
That's 40 pounds a day. 7 tons of garlic? that is almost as big as a male African elephant can get.
Per year. So they're just...
An elephant's worth of garlic every year.
That's wild.
So for more context, the average person eats about 2 pounds or 300 cloves of garlic per year.
The average person?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That seems like a lot, but I mean, I probably am eating more garlic than the average person for sure.
Like, I at least eat that many whole cloves of garlic, not to mention...
On their own, just you graze at the grocery store, you walk by produce and you just like, I'll just eat full cloves.
Yeah, like you do it with grapes, why can't you do it with garlic?
Yeah.
The current world record for the most garlic consumed in 1 minute is 42 cloves eaten by a Nepali man in 2017.
Why? That's what I gotta wonder.
Because a world record, that's why.
Oh my god, dumb.
Ooh, that sounds terrible when you think about it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Just 42 cloves?
But world record?
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of world records, the world record for the largest garlic bulb ever grown is 2 pounds, 14 ounces, which is over 30 times larger than the average bulb of garlic.
30 times?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's rumored that local cabbies and Uber drivers avoid picking up patrons from the restaurant due to the smell.
That's mean.
Do you think the cabbies and Uber drivers get paid enough to have the inside of their cars reeking of garlic?
That's profiling.
Their menu contains around 40 dishes featuring garlic, including garlic ice cream and a garlic martini.
They should call it a gartini.
I think that actually might be what it's called.
Oh, really?
And I've heard it's terrible.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it sounds gross, but like a lot of the things where it's like garlic plus, whatever sounds gross, but then you have it like the ice cream we had. It wasn't bad.
No, it just tasted like garlicky ice cream.
Yeah.
So they have all these garlic recipes. They actually published 2 full cookbooks of every restaurant recipe plus extras.
If I could make that chicken again.
Yeah, I bet it's in there.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon.
Oh. Ooh, I might be getting this.
Yes. They possess one of the world's longest braided chains of garlic that has over 2,000 bulbs.
Where?
We didn't see it. Like,
it's not on display.
No, it would have to be hung up and roped around the place. And I don't even know if it's at this location. This was present at the Beverly Hills location.
Oh.
So I'm assuming they moved it here because why would you get rid of that? Garlic has become a pop culture repellent to vampires, and there is some truth in this. Mosquitoes are actually repelled by a strong presence of garlic.
Oh. That might explain why mosquitoes tend not to bother me too much.
Me too, as
I ate
long
a
as
lot
I
of
have the garlic. Conversely, garlic actually attracts leeches.
Oh. Well, I don't spend a lot of time around leeches, so
Yeah.
I guess they don't have the opportunity to find me.
Garlic is one of the oldest herbs to be cultivated by man, with archaeological evidence from ancient Egypt and Babylon.
So how old does that place it?
Those 2 specifically put it 3,000-4,000 years.
Oh, wow.
There's actually evidence going back to Sumeria, even farther. The longest back I saw a reference would be 7,000 years.
That explains why we've had so much time to master it. I feel like garlic is probably that spice that we do the most with.
And actually, speaking of garlic in ancient Egypt, the builders of the pyramids were given extra garlic because it was believed it would give them strength.
It's not even for their enjoyment. It's so they can do this
Work harder.
this labor better.
So basically, it's like cocaine at a law firm.
Yeah.
According to the origin myth of the first kingdom to settle the Korean peninsula, a bear stayed in a cave for 100 days eating copious amounts of garlic, and then it turned into a beautiful woman that became the mother of their first ruler.
Naturally.
Yeah, I guess that's how all cultures are formed.
Of
You feed
course.
bears garlic, they turn into hot chicks, you bone them, and then they pop out kids.
You are a poet.
Yes. One last tip from Martha Stewart. The easiest way to get that lingering garlic smell off of your fingers is to rub your fingers on something stainless steel while running them under warm water.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Just like take a stainless steel spoon, run it under the faucet, and then rub your fingers on it.
Yeah, that seems
That's
like a
it.
lot of work. That seems like so much coordination. I'll just have garlic stinky hands. I don't mind having garlic stinky hands. Other people might
I guess
mind
you don't
me.
wear contacts.
No, I don't. Things I just don't have to think about in the world.
That actually happened to Aubrey the other day. She was slicing up some garlic, didn't wash her hands quite well enough.
Just got garlic
then she
in
put
her
it
eye.
contacts and it's like, oh.
Well, thanks, Martha Stewart, I guess. That does it for this week's Resty Fact Roundup.
Atmosphere.
So the inside of the restaurant is thematically a very similar continuation of the entranceway of the restaurant. Checkered black and white floors, mirrors everywhere.
Bright red ceiling and upper walls.
I was all about like the color pattern in here. Lots of on display old packaging, like the tins of olive oil.
Yeah, like
they had
pastas.
some like Ghirardelli chocolate I saw, olive oil, stuff like that. It reminded me of like my grandfather. Like he just had an aesthetic about like the type of stuff that he would collect and kind of decorate his room and his workshop with and stuff like that. So I got immediate nostalgic feelings for that. Very endearing. This place leaned in heavily to what it wanted to be. And I thought that it worked. It was cohesive. It was a very cozy environment to be in.
And it was a really efficient use of space too. It was 2 stories. So upstairs, they had like one more private dining area, then an open area, a server area.
And then big mirrors that kind of made it look, mirrors open up a space to where it kind of fools you into thinking it goes further, but used to great effect. Like this was a very nice place to sit in.
It was a little packed, a little loud, but it didn't bother me. The overall vibe was just so bright and energetic that everything else was just appropriate.
Right. They are obviously super clearly anti-vampire. Everywhere
the garlic
you turn,
everywhere, the mirrors.
Garlic and mirrors. And yeah.
Why are they racist against vampires?
Probably because they kill you, drink your blood, and turn you into one of them.
Oh, yeah. No, like genocide and kidnapping. Okay.
Yeah. The normal reasons to kind of be against a thing.
I tend to not like things that like kill people and then change their lifestyle and genetic makeup.
And force them to like avoid the sun and seek out other people to turn into the thing that they've now become. Yeah, not a fan of that.
Wow,
so
it sounds like your average Magic the Gathering player.
Boom!
I love Magic the Gathering.
I know you do.
I'll talk shit about Magic players because I am one.
Because they avoid the sun and are bloodsuckers. I mean, I just have to bring it up. The garlic smell that I was expecting, even now that we're inside, wasn't as strong as I expected. Once food got on our table, it was obviously pretty pungent, but for a place that has a smell sensory implication in their name, I thought it would waft over just a little bit more, and it didn't. We were seated by the bathrooms, and I did get one unfortunate waft of that.
I didn't get
at
that.
one point. I didn't enjoy that. But also, right by the bathroom, they had this, let's say it, a real doll.
Yeah.
They had
it was a doll.
It looked like a rubber sex doll with a closed mouth.
Yes.
It did.
Yeah, you're right. It looked kind of like a plush sex doll.
It looked like rubber.
It was plush, though, I think.
Was it plush to the touch?
I didn't touch it. I didn't really want to touch it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't feel safe. She had like a quirky garlic hat on.
Yeah.
And like a big blonde wig, and sunglasses, and like a
cleavage.
Huge cleavage. Giant knockers in like a pink cocktail dress, basically. I have no idea what purpose she was supposed to serve. I don't know why she's here. She's not a part of the theme. She just looks like a garlic fan. I really don't know. I have to ask Garrett, what's going on over there?
What's going on over there? What's going on over there? Should I worry? Should I care? What is going on over there?
What is going on over there, Garrett?
Okay, so this woman, we'll call her.
Sure, that's generous.
She was placed right by the bathroom.
Right next to the door.
I don't know, when I see someone that close to a bathroom, I tend to think, oh, you're waiting to go in, right?
Right.
So she's waiting to go to that bathroom.
Is she a deterrent? People look, they see across the restaurant, oh, there's someone waiting, I'll go later.
Yeah, so it's just like on an airplane. You see someone standing outside the airplane bathroom.
You don't
get
approach.
Up. No,
you don't approach. What are you going to do? Stand in the aisle? There may be turbulence. You'll break your neck.
There may be turbulence.
I hated that. Yeah. What if they're named the Stinking Rose because of that bathroom waft I got?
Oh, yeah.
Which was pretty bad. And they're really trying to be like, what can we do to crack down on this? The law says we have to include bathrooms for patrons. They really don't want to. They know that it creates a stinky situation. So they put a decoy there to deter people from going to the restroom line.
So she's a deterrent.
Uh-huh.
Why does she have such huge knockers?
See, you're thinking the knockers will be a point of attraction, right? No. As we've established in several episodes at this point, cleavage is something where you only glance at. It's to stop people from recognizing that she's fake. They're just staring at the boobs. They're not taking in the whole thing, the whole picture, so they don't realize the decoy.
That's brilliant.
It's camouflage.
Wow. So the best way to not be noticed is to have huge boobs exposed to the world.
Yeah. Then no one will notice if you're a robot, a vampire, or any other thing. I think we've figured it out. I think we've put it together exactly what is going on over there. Also, right when we walked in to the right, there was this giant like neon sign for like real wood oven fired pizza. It was such a cool little cove with this deep pizza oven. Again, bright colors. I love the color scheme of this place.
I believe that is a remnant from the former restaurant. The owners of the Stinking Rose already owned the space. So they replaced one of the restaurants that they are. And it was actually an Italian/pizza joint.
Oh, so
and then they
kept
moved
that.
their other restaurant property, the Stinking Rose, into this building.
Okay.
So they kept the pizza
So that was
oven.
a holdover from, because the other place was called Calzones.
Yeah. So like they actually held over a lot of the menu items from that restaurant
Oh,
too.
that makes sense.
So what we got was a Calzones, the Stinking Rose combination menu in the end.
Because they did have a lot of pizza options that, we didn't end up getting, but yeah. There was also a poorly, but in a fun way, illustrated painting or picture on the wall, but it was like crayon drawn, and it was just a guy with a giant clove of garlic for a head wearing a crown, and it said, "Proof of true love, a kiss after a garlicky dinner." I don't know. That's not exactly funny, but the cursed nature of this drawing is so cursed. We'll put this on our social media so you can see it. That's right. We're on Instagram at Fine Dining Podcast. We're on TikTok at Fine Dining Podcast. And you can email us whatever you want, finediningpodcast@gmail.com. We might regret that, but I don't know. Maybe we won't. Garrett he has his hands out in a defensive position right now, like I'm trying to cause him harm looking at this.
Do you ever just like see something and think, that thing is going to tackle me and do something I do not want? That's my thought.
Probably commit a murder.
Yes.
Yeah. Or it'll enter your soul somehow.
I don't want this garlic beast entering me in any way.
It is haunted. It looks like something out of a horror movie mixed with the Burger King mascot.
God. It's an eldritch garlic horror. That will let you have it your way.
That'll let you have it your way. Yeah. My dad told me he looks at expensive things and puts it in the context of how many Whoppers that could get him. There was like $100 glass of, I want to say it was like bourbon or whiskey or something. And his response was just to the bartender, "I could have 40 Whoppers for that." And the bartender was like, "I'm not going to serve this to you." Because it was like a tiny, tiny bit. So now we need to get to kind of the big part of the atmosphere that we contributed.
I love it when we are the atmosphere.
So last time I picked Shakey's Pizza Parlor for us.
Whoa.
It did not fare well. I had a You Must Bowl punishment. The punishments we have to do at the next restaurant if the previous one didn't score within that mediocre zone of 4 to 6. You know well.
Oh, yeah. We've had a lot of these in a row.
Oh, yeah. I had to wear a Pokemon card suit to a 5-star restaurant in Mastros.
And then after that, I had to crab walk.
To and from the buffet at Shakey's. And this time, I had to put my order into song.
And it wasn't just enough to put your order in. Nah, you had to do the whole table's
I
order.
ordered for the table. I made an announcement. I literally stood up and to the entire restaurant, I looked at the waiter and I was like, I'm sorry about this, everyone, but I lost a bet and I have to sing my order. This isn't going to be great. Please bear with me.
And they loved you.
Dude, they were so supportive. They were so fun. I got a nice big round of applause afterwards. You know, I actually practiced ahead of time. Like,
Yeah, you did in the car on the way.
Yeah,
You put in the work, man.
I literally was rehearsing over and over in the car, making you guys listen to me,
But hey,
like,
you know what?
making sure I get the syllables right and stuff.
I found out EDM through my AirPods can drown you out.
But yeah, I felt like the belle of the ball. It was very nice getting support. Our server did a little specific something. We'll talk about that in the service
But
section.
before we go on, I want to know, why do you get support and I get looked at like I'm cancerous?
Because you were literal Cancer in that the crab is the zodiac sign for
Fair.
Cancer as you crab walk to a buffet. And everyone's just like, don't look at him. He feeds on attention.
But for you, everyone's like, let's look at him. He feeds on attention.
But I also kind of asked for it and in like a positive, like, hey guys, sorry. Like, I addressed the elephant in the room before the elephant even walked into the room. Much like a vampire, it was invited in.
Yeah.
So
your singing is vampiric.
my singing is vampiric. I had a lot of fun doing it. I was actually very nervous in the build up to it because I'm like, this is basically an impromptu public singing performance that nobody asked for.
No, but it was a positive ordeal. The table next to us got involved.
It went
and
well, right?
After that, we struck up some conversation with them. It's a really good icebreaker, singing your order in a restaurant. So listeners out there, if you ever just randomly sing your order, people around you will love you.
Yeah, later in the meal, we had a real nice conversation with the table next to us and, you know, found out that their daughter is
An
trying
Olympic
out.
hopeful power lifter.
Yeah. It was very interesting just to like share stories. They were in town from Pennsylvania and they're doing a trip down the coast.
So we gave them some restaurant recommendations in
course.
LA and San Diego.
Right within our ball house, right?
Yes, our ball house.
to give restaurant recommendations. So I think it added a lot to the atmosphere, but even without this, I'm going 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Easy.
Like, this place knew what it was. This place delivered on it. The anti-vampire theming was very fun. It was very tongue-in-cheek, and I thought they executed it well. And the only negative was that cursed creature on the wall that's going to take its garlic crown and just
Feed it to you.
slit your throat with it and wear you as a garlic skin suit.
Ugh.
Oh, man.
That's not good.
I think it's great.
Service.
So our service situation was interesting in that the hostess was very polite, very nice. We came in, started taking pictures, and she was very accommodating.
Yeah,
Like,
she
"Oh,
understood.
take your time, no rush. I'll seat you as soon as you're ready, but your table is ready." Wonderful. Awesome. Then we go in, we sit down, and we see our server kind of running back and forth.
She's just buzzing around.
She's working hard. It did take a while for her to kind of acknowledge us.
But I think like we weren't even looking at our menus. Our faces were in our notebooks. We were writing. We weren't engaging with those
space
around us. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we knew well in advance what we were getting because
Exactly.
I knew I had to sing it.
Which I actually kind of like. I'd like to go to every single one of these places and already know the order. I felt so much more relaxed not having to look at the menu and decide. I could
Yeah.
put all of that energy into like taking videos, looking at the atmosphere.
For me, there's something about, I don't know, the tactile nature of flipping through a menu and kind of seeing how it's laid out, seeing some options that might surprise me and jump out to me. I like not knowing because I like the idea that I could change my mind or surprise myself or whatever. But if you want to do it for yourself moving forward, go for it.
Yeah, it's a nice time saver. I'll admit a little like I read some reviews for this restaurant.
So you knew which
I
ones.
knew I wanted going in.
Yeah. Oh, and you ordered right.
Yeah.
You really did.
Thanks, San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah. So it takes a while for her to check in. The first time she does, it's not even like a hello. It's just, so do you know what you want? And I was like, oh, I'm not going to like this server. Ended up not being the case. I ended up really
Yeah,
liking
she's
her.
awesome. And she had a really good sense of humor.
But that first impression, I was just like, oh, she's really trying to, I don't know, rush us through, which, given how much she was kind of going back and forth, makes sense. I will say that the guys refilling the waters, very on top of it. Empty glasses did not last long.
And yeah, the same people, our plates got bust really quickly.
Yeah.
And they asked too. I love it when they ask. They don't just take plates.
Yeah. And same with the refills. First time she came by, it was, do you know what you want? We said no. She kind of just keeps moving. Second time she comes back, I'm like, hey, so I'm so sorry. I lost a bet. I'm going to have to sing my order.
And this is my favorite moment of our server. She's like, okay, let me get some other people to
she
join.
said, do you want me to get more people? And I go, no.
And Steven and I go, yes.
And she was like, oh, it's going to embarrass him. Put him on the spot. Okay. And then she goes away when I'm like ready to order. She comes back because I like kind of need 3 minutes to like mentally prepare. So she comes back. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. She's like, oh, okay. And she like leaves. She just bolts. She goes over to the pizza oven area, picks out 2 guys. She's like, you're lucky. I could only find 2. So it's the 3 of them standing there staring at me. I stand up. I make my announcement to, I guess, the restaurant or at least the people near me. I start singing my order. And then as soon as I'm done singing, she was like, sorry, I know you're emotional, but I do have to repeat the order to you to make sure I got it right. So it was Steven's birthday. Steven, our cheese correspondent that we take with us.
His mouth was working today.
I tried to put it in our reservation that it was someone's birthday because I didn't know if they do something special, but you and I, we're birthday boys. We like seeing what different restaurants do. And when I tried to put it in the reservation, they basically just told me, remind your server. Well, I walk in today and my mind is on this song, this public performance that I have to do now because of the stupid You Must Bowl. Fucking You Must Bowl. No one likes the You Must Bowl. Get rid of it.
I like it.
I love it. It's
I kind
fun.
of like embarrassing myself.
It creates a fun element. I'm for it. Whatever. I'm just bitter that I had to put myself through this. But I forgot it was Steven's birthday because of it. So we're in the middle of the meal and I stand up just out of nowhere and don't tell either of you where I'm going. And I just kind of walk in the opposite direction of the bathroom, which is realistically the only place I would be going.
Yeah, that's what both Steven and I assumed. We're like, oh, wait, what bathroom's that?
I was
way?
deterred by the lady waiting in line and her cleavage. Yeah. So I beeline it, happen to find our server, and I go, hey, it's the guy with the leather jacket's birthday. I don't know if you guys do anything, but just wanted to let you know. She's like, okay, cool. And then I just keep walking past her, and now I'm in the lobby, like the host area, and the only place to go is out. And I'm like, I have no justification to be over here. And I find like a Purell like hand sanitizer and I just do that and walk back. Steven just flat out bought it. Like, oh, he was just going to find hand sanitizer.
And I didn't give a shit.
You're like, what? Okay, whatever. Like, yeah, I was just doing that. Just a weak ass excuse.
And I want to nominate all of the effort that you went through for this as way too much.
This is
Wow, I'm flattered to win an award. Yeah, I was trying to keep it subtle. I didn't want to let on to Steven that I was doing this for his birthday. Birthday surprises are nice, but I had no idea how to like tactfully approach it at all.
Not at all. Your attempt at secrecy was way too much.
Now, what we do like to observe from a lot of these restaurants is, what are their birthday traditions? What do they do? Does the staff come out and sing? Well, what they ended up doing was bringing out a dessert, the ice cream with a candle in it, and then just bailing. And then after we sang, our server comes back and says, I did you a favor. The place would have emptied out if I sang. And I was just like, okay,
thanks.
I guess that's an excuse. She was a lot of fun. I'm going to go 1 thumb up on the service. They were very fun. I don't really have a strong reason to not go 2 thumbs up. I think it's just because we went to Mastro's so recently that getting just that barrage of attention the entire time.
I agree. Like, this was excellent service,
Yeah.
but to give the 2 thumbs, there needs to be the extra thing, like
The extra oomph
4 different people at Mastro's, a balloon animal person.
at Rainforest Cafe. Yeah, she was very attentive and very fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that we saw her a ton. That might have improved it a little
Yeah,
bit,
but no, she was great. She's a really
but it was very good
strong 1
service.
thumb up.
yeah, it's a very solid 1 thumb up.
Food.
So now, the reason we wanted to do this place in the first place, food.
Garlic.
Garlic
Oh.
galore. Garlic's work
Yes.
in the house. We started with the bagna calda, which logic tells me that bagna sounds like bath and calda sounds like cauldron.
But that's kind of what it was. It was cloves of garlic taking a nice, relaxing bath in a cauldron filled with olive oil.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the exact translation.
It's garlic confit. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Garlic confit, as I would say, was the perfect garlic spread for
Yeah.
my taste. We got 2 different garlic spreads, and I think you and I differed on which one was better. They were both fantastic, but this one,
I think they both have their use.
yeah, full cloves of garlic, bunch of oil, hint of anchovy that whatever was there was the right amount. This thing, I'm telling you, it comes with 2 buns, basically, that you kind of pull apart, you dip it in there, you load it up, and let me tell you, there was not enough surface area on this bread, despite it having plenty of surface area, for how much garlic I wanted. There was no bite I had where I was like, I should have had less. No, I wanted to Pez dispenser this thing into my mouth. I just wanted to open my neck and just like you're yeah, unreal. It was, to me, a 10 out of 10 starter. It is the thing on their menu that is right at the top. It is in the biggest font. It is the foot that they are putting forward. It is delicious.
It's really cool. They had a candle and like a metal ring that they placed it on top of. So it was like
just like a little mini heater. It's
Yeah.
not like extreme heat, but it's enough to just
enough. But
yeah.
more than anything, it's just kind of like the visual nature of it.
Yeah. I can't say enough good
No, like
things about this
garlic,
dish.
it was like just sweet enough because how it was made.
I want to be buried up to my neck in this. I just want to like fall into a quicksand of this garlic.
And that's the thing, like this isn't that difficult for you to make at home. You could do that at home very easily.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just put the cloves of garlic into like a small pot or pan, cover it with olive oil, hit it maybe low to medium heat, stir it every once in a while, make sure it doesn't burn. About an hour later, you got that.
Check for vampires.
Yeah. We had 2 different breads, an Acme bread that was a baguette,
And then,
And then
this roll.
the roll, round roll. So
Yeah.
on the roll, I thought it was an 8.5 out of 10. But I will go 9 out of 10 on the baguette,
yeah.
simply because I think it was slightly more sourdough. It was a little crispier. The sourdough taste was a better balance to the garlic.
I had the normal bread and the baguette, I guess, just rated on their own without these different things. But largely the garlic spreads, I had the same rating regardless of the bread. The normal bread, I felt like, it doesn't need to be more than just a vehicle for garlic to get to your mouth. 6.5 out of 10 on that bread by itself.
Oh, okay. I didn't rate the bread alone.
Okay. And then the baguette, I felt it was a little too thin. Like the crust to, center bread ratio was just a little too crust heavy for me. If this thing had just been a little bit bigger and kind of had more of that inner bread surface area, whatever you want to call it, I thought that it was a very good taste and it worked really well with the garlic relish that we got.
Okay.
But I mostly had the round roll with the bagna calda.
Now that garlic relish, it was just a mix of parsley, olive oil, garlic, and a few other seasonings.
Yeah.
I thought
it was definitely sharper.
It was sharp. It was more of a pungent garlic because this was just raw garlic, finely chopped, as compared to the bagna calda, which was slow roasted garlic.
Yeah, this
So-
almost had a look of like a chimichurri.
Yeah. Fun fact, the reason this tasted more pungent was because when you prepare garlic by either crushing it or slicing it, when it's raw, that releases the allium, which is that pungent garlic flavor. When you slow roast, when you make garlic confit,
It stays in it.
and then it just sweetens instead.
I see.
So basically what you're doing is you're just breaking the cell walls and you're releasing this enzyme. out into the
You're
world.
making such passionate hand gestures right now. You look like a volcano of a man.
It's actually the diagram of like, I don't know, like my hands are like the walls of a cell, and then like the cell ruptures.
I understood. Yeah. I just want to paint a picture for our listeners in this audio-only medium.
Because they can see it.
Yeah.
With their ears.
They can see it with their ears. This garlic relish, I went 8.5 out of 10. I mostly ate it on the wood-fired, oven-baked Acme baguette, which I gave a 7 out of 10 to that bread. But yeah, that as far as like those little bread and dip starters, those are all my ratings.
And then I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10 for the garlic relish on both breads.
It was good. I happily would come back here just for this.
Yeah, definitely. So like this was a tip I saw going in. If you're looking for that strong, knock your lights out garlic, go for the relish.
Yeah.
If you want something really a more muted, savory taste that's just going to linger on your tongue, go for the bagna calda.
Then we got an appetizer, the Italian garlic pot stickers.
They didn't racially profile me. What the hell? Where are my chopsticks?
Yeah, no chopsticks for our Korean boy here. I feel like these were good. They were good. But I don't understand the marketing of calling them Italian. Nothing about them tasted any different than when you would get these in an Asian restaurant.
Yeah, not at all.
Like nothing. The garlic was understated. It was good. It was there. It's still a 7 out of 10 appetizer, but it didn't deliver on the promise of like garlic overload. And I just don't understand the word Italian in the name of the dish. I just don't.
Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, fuck. There's the garlic.
You garlic burping?
Oh. What are we talking about?
Did you just dissociate for a second? We're talking about the pot stickers. Did you score them?
And now, a word from our totally not made up sponsor.
Does this ever happen to you? You eat yourself into a stupor and you're all burpy and gassy and you lose track of your surroundings? Hi there! Your favorite sponsor, Jub, here, and I'm back with a new business proposal. If you find yourself in a situation that you're eating so much that your reality falls away from you, which is very commonplace in America and for some reason legal, even though it's kind of like ayahuasca in that way specifically, well, no worries. I'll make it that you don't lose track of where you were because Jub's gonna be a stenographer. I found a vintage typewriter at a local stoop sale. I'm the perfect person to document all the things that you say because due to all the amphetamine salts I have to take to stay awake because of my chronic nightmare syndrome, I can type upwards of 170 words per minute. Just be careful not to say any words with the letter W in it because this keyboard is definitely missing the letter W. If you can work around that, I've got you covered. Call me, not via phone because I don't have one. There's just too many apps. They intimidate me and I don't know where to jump in. So I stick with old technologies like typewriters and long underwear. So to reach me, just scream like I do when I wake up from one of my nightmares. And I'll hear you. I gotta go. Okay, bye.
So the inside of the pot stickers wasn't as garlicky as I thought, but I think the garlic was more in that soy sauce mixture that they were sitting in. I got more garlic taste out of that.
Yeah.
So I'll give these a 7.5 out of 10. They were crisp on the outside, and the dough was still soft and pliable, like you want a good pot sticker to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a solid pot sticker.
Yeah, it was. It just wasn't
very
special.
It felt out of place, I guess. That was my only note, but it doesn't make the dish bad.
No. Like,
they
were
felt out of
solid
place.
and like almost as good as my local Chinese joint.
Right. So then, entrees and sides. I guess we'll talk about the side first, and then we'll jump into what we got for our entrees. Both of our entrees came with the same side, right?
Yeah, the garlic mashed potatoes.
The garlic Yukon Gold potatoes mashed with zucchini.
Okay, that's what that was. I was wondering what the green stuff was.
Yes. Very, very light use of zucchini. It was not a lot of it. I love garlic mashed potatoes, and you take me to a restaurant that is all about garlic, I expect the best garlic mashed potatoes that I've ever had. I didn't get that. I did like these, but I didn't fall in love with them. I couldn't tell you what it was, but just something, I don't know if it was the zucchini, but something about the texture. It wasn't as hot, I guess, as I would have liked it to be.
And you don't like lumpy mashed potatoes, right?
I don't mind lumpy if it's done a certain way. I can't really put it into words, but like texture-wise, there is a range that I'll accept on a mashed potato. This one just wasn't cutting it. Again, not bad. I went 6.8 out of 10. It's good. It's solidly
Yeah.
good.
The very first bite I had of these sent me right into Flavorvana. I was surprised.
I noticed, yeah.
Like, honestly, the taste wasn't even that great. It was more of a texture sensation I got.
Was
Like,
it exactly where you like it, or at
Yeah.
least that first bite?
the first bite was exactly the amount of moist and chunk that I like in my potatoes. That sounds really gross.
Did that pervade throughout it, or
No,
did
that was just my first bite. So
Okay.
I can only give these a 6.5 out of 10.
I had a couple of really good bites that, I would say were great. But yeah, as a whole, most of the bites I had they were okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really had high hopes for these. And they didn't deliver on those high hopes, but still not a bad dish.
No.
Now, the things that these were on the side of, you and I got the top 2 listed dishes
Yes.
under entrees. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Go first.
Okay. We went to Mastro's not that long ago. We went to Sizzler right before it. We had a really shitty steak. We had a really great steak. And we kind of swore off of steak, at least for a little bit. 2 episodes later,
Steak.
I got Count Vladimir's Sizzlin' Garlic Prime Ribeye Steak. Stake.
I see what
Get
they
it?
did there.
Like a wooden steak. This was covered in garlic. It had the green garlic relish on top of it.
it was very visually pleasing.
It was well cooked to medium rare.
Yeah, all of the fat was rendered perfectly on the inside. At least it looked that way from...
There
Was
were
it-
a few little textural things where I was like, oh, it's a little chewy or whatever.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call this perfect by any means. This doesn't compete with the Mastro steak.
No.
It's not in the same breath, but it was a very good steak. Delicious. If we're talking Mastro's is in the A tier, this is at the high end of the B tier. It impressed. The garlic was the gimmick, and it really delivered on the garlic, and it had a great blend. Nothing about this garlic was unwelcome or overdone. It blended so well with the flavor of the meat. The fatty bites were good. The leaner bites were good. Everything mixed well. I'm going 8.5 out of 10 on Count Vladimir's Sizzlin' Garlic Prime Ribeye Steak.
I had a bite of it. I thought it was great. The thing that most impressed me was the crust on the steak.
Yeah,
I'm a crust lord.
I know you are.
And that was beautiful. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. It was good. Now let's talk about your little residence of perfection in Garlicville.
The 40 clove chicken.
It was delivered in like this silver tin, basically, kind of like the bagna calda, but
Yeah.
larger, like entree size. Take it from here.
Oh my God. It was just this beautiful golden cooked look. It had like roasted garlic just beautifully sitting on top of it, inside of it, underneath it. It was sitting in a garlic emulsion.
Yeah. So the
That
pool,
was
the
so
pool
good.
of garlic emulsion was the thing where like you slice a thing and then you do a little dip. I had 2 bites of it and I looked at you and I was like, oh man, I ordered wrong. And mine was good. I liked mine a lot. But yours was the dish to get.
Yeah, because we were looking at this. We're like, we're going to count the cloves of garlic. And there weren't 40 whole cloves, but I bet that emulsion was 20 of them.
Yeah.
Wow, this was the best chicken I have had in my entire life.
You said that you wanted to start a family with this garlic. and then I said, no, Garrett, we can start a family with this.
The garlic flavor was pervasive throughout the entire meat. Everything was moist. Everything was cooked perfectly.
It was perfectly textured chicken, perfectly mixed and balanced
Yeah.
garlic.
Enough white meat to dark meat. And I'm losing my words right now because I've never quite experienced the flavor of garlic in the center of a chicken breast like I did there. I didn't know it was possible for garlic to seep that deep into the meat.
Yeah. Can I give you some words?
Yes.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. 10 out of 10. That is a 10 out of 10 chicken. That's a 10 out of 10 anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a 10 out of 10 life partner.
No, like no contest. This was the best thing. Yeah, this was the best thing. I mean, the bagna calda I loved.
Yeah.
I loved. Yeah, I think I put this over there,
yeah,
and I
me
only
too.
and only off of 2 bites. Like the bagna calda, like I said,
I think you had half of that yourself.
I detached my jaw like a snake and like put the cauldron down my mouth. Yeah.
This was so good.
This place knows how to do garlic. Not everything is a home run on this menu, but the things that are make it worth coming to this place. And of course, we all know that cheese is not a home run. Garrett and I don't like the stuff, but our cheese correspondent Steven does, and he was with us. And because it was his birthday, we didn't sock him in the jaw, rendering him unable to speak, so he can actually voice his own review of the cheesy item that he got from the Stinking Rose. But as per usual, we will not tolerate a lot of talk about cheese, so 1 minute on the clock. Steven, go.
Hey guys, Steven Zarita here. I had the garlic crab Alfredo fondue at the Stinking Rose in San Francisco. I had my heart dead set on some kind of Alfredo pasta earlier in the week, so this came at a perfect time. If you don't know, a big component in Alfredo sauce in and of itself is Parmesan cheese, so that's where the cheese part of this dish comes in, if you didn't know. On top of that, I had Parmesan cheese freshly grated on top. It was delicious. The extra garlic was an amazing addition. It didn't overpower the Alfredo sauce, and like I said, it doesn't taste cheesy. It tastes like Alfredo sauce with a little bit of Parmesan, so it wasn't, in my opinion, over the board, but it also wasn't overshadowed by the garlic. Extremely delicious. The crab that was in it was fantastic. I'd expect nothing less from San Francisco, which has a good seafood scene. Some of the best Alfredo pasta I've ever had. I'm going to say 8 out of 10 for the score.
Now, we gotta move on to the last thing we get. The interesting thing that half of you listening are going to be like, ew, and the other half are also going to be like, ew, but maybe. We got Gilroy's famous garlic ice cream. This is a vanilla ice cream with garlic infused,
and it's covered in like a
hardened
chocolate shell.
chocolate shell. Not overdone. The chocolate shell was perfect.
I thought the chocolate shell was necessary to balance the garlic.
Yeah.
It's just like salted caramel.
No, I loved the chocolate shell. So I took a bite of it. Immediately, I didn't love the taste. Then it dissipated real quick, and I kind of got like the slight hint of vanilla, because it wasn't a lot of vanilla. And then garlic swoops up and hits that note where it's like, okay, I like this.
Yeah, I had the same reaction too. The first taste was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I think that was the runny melted part. So I just took like a thick spoonful right through the middle, and I get a little bit of garlic. But once the garlic mixed in with the chocolate and the vanilla, you could taste all three elements at once, and it was just amazing.
I wouldn't call it amazing, but
with all three, I think in an ideal bite it was. It was a very complex mouth adventure.
It was a creative dish. I'm glad I tried it. I don't know if I would ever order it. Like, I would eat it again, like gun to my head. It's not like I hated it or even disliked it, but it's never going to be my first choice. Like, if I even came back here, I would recommend it to the person I'm with to be like, just try it just to do it.
It's a 100% try thing.
And then I would order something else for my dessert. I go 6.5 out of 10 on the garlic ice cream.
I'm also going to go 6.5 out of 10 out of this. My enjoyment was honestly the novelty of it, and having garlic ice cream's pretty novel.
Overall on the food, I think I'm going 2 thumbs up.
The smell of this room right now gives us 2 thumbs up for this. Like, the amount of garlic we ate.
We are garlic.
We are
and garlic is us. We are garlic.
We are garlic.
We are garlic.
Garlic is us. Why are my pants off?
Honestly, a question I ask you every time we record. At this point, I'm used to it.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
All right. We got to give this whole thing a score. But before we do, let's go to Yelp and see what other people are saying about the Stinking Rose in this week's Yelp from Strangers.
We need a little Yelp, a little Yelp from strangers. A 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4 or 5. So get a little Yelp, a little Yelp from strangers. A little Yelp. Give us those complaints while you literally whine and die. Yelp!
All right, this is Yelp from Strangers, our segment where we go to Yelp and read out our favorite 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-star Yelp reviews of the very restaurant that we went to.
3-star review.
I'm going to start us off with a 3-star review. This is from Lauren H. 1 year ago. It's definitely an experience. You go and order the vat of garlic and enjoy it on bread while watching San Francisco roll on by. It's definitely not somewhere I'd recommend for their cuisine, but it's a fun place to go sit and eat massive amounts of garlic and people watch.
That is true.
The chicken was tasty for sure. However, I woke up the next morning in a room full of garlic gas. So be warned, garlic does make you stinky and not just your breath.
That's true.
So thanks, Lauren H., for, I guess, publicly yelping about your leaky butthole. Your garlic butthole. Yeah, I mean, you and I are 3 hours removed from eating this meal, and we are stinking up the place. So tonight is going to be a unique situation at our Airbnb.
5-star review.
Let's go for a 5-star review from Kim A. 12 months ago.
Great.
Kim enjoyed her time here. Hot bartender. Italian.
Wait, is she talking about the food or the bartender?
I don't know.
Hot bartender. Italian. Okay.
As far as drinking food, an espresso martini is perfect. Prime ribeye is outstanding. My favorite. I love garlic and Italian men. I'll be back.
She did not say and Italian men.
But she does love
with
Italian
her
men.
words, but she definitely did with her other words.
Thanks, Kim, for your love of Italian men.
So many people put their thirst on Yelp. You can go download our full Yelp from Strangers segment at our Patreon. The link for that is in the description of this episode, or you can go to patreon.com/finediningpodcast. And we're now offering a 1-week free trial, so what do you have to lose? Go check it out. People have wild opinions, and we get to read oh so many of them. Thanks.
Final rating.
Okay, well now I'm ready to give a score. I know you're ready to give a score. Garrett, this was one of the highest rated places we've gone in terms of our thumb ratings. I went 2 up on atmosphere, 1 up on service, 2 up on food. That's 5 thumbs up.
Hey, and I had an identical amount of thumbs to you.
That's 10 out of 12.
We're thumb twins.
We're thumb twins, you and I. We're just 2 hands, all thumbs. We're like weird mutant thumb boys.
Oh man, just think of the motion you could get while throwing a baseball with 5 thumbs.
I am haunted at that image. All right. I really liked this place a lot. I would go back. I wish it would become a full-blown chain. At the very least, can we get one back in Southern California again and get just up to 2? It doesn't feel good that we pick a former chain that's now back down to just 1. I don't like that. I want this place to get attention. I want it to succeed.
That's what we're doing. We are giving a platform to the Stinking Rose.
We're bringing awareness. Guys, the Stinking Rose, if you're in San Francisco, I recommend it. I really enjoyed this spot.
I will choose the Stinking Rose over basically any restaurant.
Really?
Almost any restaurant. Like, well, not Mastro's.
Sure. As far as our run so far, though, I think this is my second highest score, if not second or third. It's really up there. I'm going 8.70 for the Stinking Rose. Real high. This was a truly great dining experience. From the supportive atmosphere during me singing the order, the fun that we had with our server, the food being delicious. I kind of wanted a little bit more on the garlicky side, but man, these delivered what I wanted in a lot of ways. So great spot, 8.70.
And I'm going to go 8.55.
Right. So right up there with me.
I love garlic so much. I've been looking forward to this ever since I picked this place. Hell, I've been looking forward to this restaurant ever since I moved out to LA.
And that's been, what, a decade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I will admit some dishes could be more garlicky, but I'll just mainline garlic right into my veins. So if I say something is not garlicky enough, it's garlicky enough for you people.
So that means the Stinking Rose goes up on the tchotchke of mediocrity at 8.63.
Better than mediocre. It's better than an Applebee's. Yeah.
We can also say that this wasn't mediocre enough.
No.
Not mediocre enough. Draw from the bowl. The You Must Bowl.
I had to sing my order. You gotta draw from the You Must Bowl this time and see what you're gonna do at the next restaurant.
Did you put this in here?
I don't know which one you drew, so read it.
You must embrace the juggalo lifestyle.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you know I'm from Michigan, so it's
Yeah.
kind of appropriate.
You gotta be a little insane clown, Garrett. We'll go get you some face paint. And
God.
what size shirt are you?
I'm a medium.
Great.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah, I seem like I'm a little disappointed, but secretly, deep inside my heart, all I can say about this is whoop whoop.
Oh my God. I'm going to be so embarrassed by you. Okay, great. Well, let's see where you're going to paint your face and go to like an insane clown posse fan. Oh God. We got to figure it out because we didn't get the most mediocre restaurant. We got to keep looking. We got to play a little game. We got to play
The headline game.
The rules of the headline game are as follows. Garrett will present 3 headlines to Michael that include this week's restaurant. They can be made up, or they can be actual headlines. If Michael can correctly guess if at least 2 out of 3 are real or fake, he will get to select next week's restaurant. However, if Garrett stumps him, he'll select again. Are you ready to play, fellas?
I am, in fact, ready.
Here we go. Headline number 1. Man spits on valet outside the Stinking Rose, then hits him with his car. Yeah,
That's straight from your brain, but it's... Yeah, I'm going to say false.
that's such a me headline.
It is.
It just needs an insect infestation.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Local man runs from Bakersfield to San Francisco just to eat at the Stinking Rose.
Runs?
Yes. Bakersfield to San Francisco. That's like, what, 5 marathons? That's insane. Forrest Gump did run across a marathon.
I'm going to... Like, what kind of timeline are we talking?
There's no timeline given. Local man runs from Bakersfield to San Francisco just to eat at the Stinking Rose. Maybe it took him a year.
I'm going to say true.
Final one. The Stinking Rose, the heart-healthiest restaurant in San Francisco?
True.
So, first headline. Man spits on valet outside the Stinking Rose, then hits him with his car. You went false. That is true.
No!
And guess where that happened?
This one?
Beverly Hills.
Oh, that was Beverly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Honestly, a big reason that I said false was because the valet was not a thing at this one.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right.
Now, the next one. Local man runs from Bakersfield to San Francisco just to eat at the Stinking Rose. You guessed true. That is false.
Yeah, that's too far. All right, I'm not going to be able to pick. What about the last
The
one?
last one, the Stinking Rose, the heart-healthiest restaurant in San Francisco. I also made that up.
Did I get all 3 wrong?
You did.
Oh. That hurts.
Hey, at least you had a good meal.
Yeah. Man, I suck at the headline game when you're the one behind the reins because you're such a wild card. All right, where are we going to go next time?
So, we're going to be in San Francisco for a few more days.
Yeah.
And we're like a jump, hop, and a skip away from Sacramento.
Uh-huh.
And there's one restaurant whose only location in the entire state of California is in Sacramento.
No.
Only
Oh,
one.
I think I know what this was because I look up what all of our viable restaurant options are. You're not
We are going to go to
Twin Peaks.
No! And not only are we going to Twin Peaks,
Uh-huh.
we're going to bring your cousin Emma to Twin Peaks because she sent us to Hooters.
I feel like we have to get permission from her mom to do that, but I guess we can ask.
Oh, it's not like this is a strip club.
I mean, it kind of is. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what she gets for... Everyone go listen to our Chuck E. Cheese episode so you can know what kind of rapport we have with Emma. But she deserves a comeuppance for sending us to Hooters. Sure. Yeah. Let's take her to Twin Peaks. You insane clown psychopath.
Oh, God, I didn't think what it would be like going to Twin Peaks
As
in
a
full
juggalo?
makeup.
With a teenager.
Actually, that's probably a thing they see in Sacramento every other week anyway.
Great. All right. Well, this is going to be a wild time. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of the Fine Dining Podcast, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America. Check out our Patreon. Get some exclusive episodes. Follow us on socials.
Yeah, and on our socials, we are posting Michael's entire singing order. We are on TikTok and Instagram at Fine Dining Podcast.
You can email us, finediningpodcast@gmail.com. We did not find the most mediocre restaurant, but we will keep looking. Maybe it'll be Twin Peaks, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see you there next time. Have a fine day.
Whoop, whoop.
No!
The search continues. We still need the perfect five. The search continues. Like and subscribe. The search continues. Our journey did not conclude. The mother effing search continues. Write us an iTunes review. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and make it 5 stars, huh? Come on. Follow us on TikTok, the same on Instagram, all the socials at Fine Dining Podcast. We have a website, finediningpodcast.com. Buy our t-shirts, then put them on. And don't forget, you can always suggest where we go next. Okay, we're going to find it. Mediocrity. The search continues. See you next week. Hurt my throat a little.
Have a fine day.
When you say it was inspired by, oh my gosh, that was the garlickiest burp. Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. I'm in a cloud of garlic right now.